A very good morning to you. This is Vibrant Africa. My name is David Batsoffen and he is Jan Bester. Jan, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the channel.
Morning, David, from a very warm and sunny little Karoo in the beautiful Southern Cape. Always a pleasure to connect with you.
I have to just say, you and I have a connection, although we've never met, because you live in Oudtshoorn and my dad was born and raised in Oudtshoorn. And I've been back, not to my ancestral home because that's long gone, but I still have family living there, or so I'm told.
Yeah, this is just, I travel a lot, and I must say, coming home truly now after 20
Mhm.
years, this is home for me. This is sort of where you cage the gyros, flying fraternity lingo. It's where you can
Mhm.
just zoom out and obviously, and we'll touch on that. But when I head into the mountains, grab a camera, rural South Africa is where my heart is
Uh,
actually.
you
But
and
living here, it's just bliss.
You and me both. There is much to be found in small town South Africa. But I
True,
was
true.
interested when I was looking up about you and what it is that you do down in that neck of the woods. Aristotle came up because as a philosopher, he was talking about three elements. He was talking about logos, ethos, and pathos. And I believe these are important to you. Why?
You know, I'm knocking at being 60. Next year, God willing, is my 60th. And I think most of us in the journey of where we are, you learn many things along the road. Some gems as to how to do things and some how not to do things. And if and if there's a pivotal um, uh, foundational truth that I've found whenever I interact with people, which is my life, actually for everybody. This is we're not islands. We're on a journey with other people heading somewhere. I found that ethos, pathos, logos talks to me if you want to engage. Whenever I sit down and I talk to a person and I met them for the first time, I ask myself, you must understand any human being looking at you say, I'm going to judge this interaction
Mm.
on three basic principles. And if you subconsciously even is there ethics involved? Are you genuine? Is there character? Because in a world, our current world, often that might be lacking. Number two, pathos. Do you have empathy for me? Do you recognize me as a person? Are you here to tell me stuff or are you here to listen to me and journey with me?
Mm.
Logos. Know what you talk about, and in the world today, everybody has got an opinion. And that's cool, but make it a qualified one. In my line of
Yeah.
work, I live on integrity. People needs to leave the conversation and say, you know what? I trust the guy. I don't
Mm.
have to, but I suppose I've got no reason not to trust him. I think he knows what he's talking about. You know what? He respects me. And that for me, if you leave any other person that they feel respected, acknowledged, um, that says a lot. And that for me is the pivotal of interpersonal interactions. Can't
Fair enough.
violate that.
No, you can't. Now let's talk about Africa Safari Connection. You started this company, what, about 16 years ago? There or
Yeah,
thereabouts?
2008, 9. Yeah, that was the
Okay.
birth.
Why? What did you wake up one morning and go, hang on a second, I have to start a hospitality slash travel company because
Yeah.
there is a
No,
hole
I
in the
think like most
marketplace.
things, David, all things are birthed someday. But the paradigm was always, I've been a national guide for 17, 18 years,
Right.
living in Oudtshoorn, left my corporate life, learned a lot from corporate. May I say, that was 2025, very well invested years, but I chose a different life.
Okay.
Uh, I'm fed up with meetings and traffic. So I thought, let's go. And I realized that within my area, my region in the Little Karoo was, I'm a specialist mountain guide. I'm an operator. I'm an eco operator. I understand the lingo. I've been traveling and working with tour operators for many years. I've had my own guest house in town. I've been involved into the mix and I realized that no, man, like I said earlier, we're not islands. And if you
Mm.
want to be successful in life, collaborate. I've always had an abundance mentality around collaboration. You want to be successful, collaborate.
Yeah.
We're not on our own little heap. The world doesn't work like that. We are
No.
interdependent beings, And I went to the properties around me because I'm the mortar between the bricks, if you say.
Mm.
And I said, guys, we need to go and fetch business. Now, you can imagine we were ramping up into the first financial crisis. At that time, we thought it was big. Lo and behold, we were
Little did
surprised.
you know what was lying in wait in
Yeah.
2021.
And I thought, you know what, let's collaborate. And I went to some property guys and some ostrich farms and said, I'll go to Cape Town. We're going to find the two operators. We'll bring them here. We'll show them what we do. You give the activity and establishments, and I give them the reasons. I'll show them the mountain and the beautiful stars and so on. And that was the birth of the Klein Karoo connection. And
Mm.
it was very isolated. And then we went to the World Travel Market South Africa, or Africa, in the early 2000s, I think 14, 15s. And we were there very excited and poised to tell the world about the Klein Karoo. And most of those people arriving said, Jan, I've never been to South Africa. I've only been to Cape Town now. I landed last night. I'm totally oblivious to what happened. So if you say
Mm.
Klein Karoo, I don't care. What is it? Where is it? And I thought, and I said to the guys, you know what? We have to understand we have to become trans-provincial. We are South African. We are Africans. We are
Right.
proudly African people. I'm not a Plain Karoo heap little guy or Southern Cape for that matter. We have to become trans-provincial. And in doing so, the birth of Africa Safari Connection is saying we need to put a hat on so when we go to the market, the industry, the international traveler, he doesn't look at South Africa. He doesn't look at Cape Town or doesn't look at Cape Town with the eyes of South Africa and the Eastern Cape and Gauteng or Free State. And I
Mm.
know I travel with them for multiple days. They look at us as a collective. So I have to become the collective representation. We have to be relevant. That was
Yeah.
prior to COVID. And that was the birth of Africa Safari Connection. Let's understand we've got a country to sell on the southern tip of Africa.
Mm.
That was phase one of going a little bit bigger.
Because there's also the issue around people know, pardon me, certain places in Africa, if they're coming from an international point of view. Kruger National Park, if they are at all involved in wildlife, the Garden Route, and Cape Town. That's about it. There seems to be nothing in between. They'll fly or they'll drive now. I've noticed they'll drive from Kruger through Swaziland to get to an Indian Ocean destination and then drive down the coast, down through the Garden Route, past George, Mossel Bay, Plettenberg Bay, Oudtshoorn, all of that to get to Cape Town. And then they fly home from Cape Town. And you go, what of Africa? What of South Africa have you seen? You and I were
Yeah.
chatting just before we came to air now, and we were talking about small town South Africa, pardon me, that has an inordinate amount to offer foreign tourists. Pardon me.
True, David. I think, I appreciate the first time traveler. When I go to France for the
Mm.
first time, I need to go and tick the big boxes. I've been to Italy and I had to do that. I wanted to
Yeah.
go to Rome and all those big Colosseums, those big touristic attractions. And I respect that. But
Mm.
bottom line is, when I travel with many years with clients, I said, I had a glimpse. Stef Bos, he's a Dutch Belgium singer, and he says, South Africa is the world in Zak format, a
Mm.
pocket little manual of the world.
Yeah.
The diversity of Southern
Yeah.
Africa is tremendous. And once we've given them that first intro, they normally are hungry to come back. And then we say, let's drill now. So
Mm.
yes, and I know the gems of this country. As a
Yeah.
guide, I'm traveling this country constantly because I haven't discovered those nooks and crannies that I want to go to. But for that first time guy, it's not just to get him here for the first time, it's to just show him, open the book, and then say, you know what, when you come back, we're going to drill down. And that's where you've ticked off the big winelands in the Cape Town and take nothing from it. That is
Mm.
opulence. That is beautiful. But if you want to connect with the heart and soul, I want to take you to a smaller rural township, and I want you to
Yeah.
meet the people of the Kango Valley, the descents of the Khoi and the San, the people that live off the soil that still use natural herbal remedies from the Swartberg Mountains, the fynbos, as their medicine.
Mm.
That's what resonates with me as a South African, and I want them to go down that journey with me. And some of the people I've traveled with have come back for the seventh and eighth time and hasn't exhausted all those beautiful places yet, and that's what we sit on, David.
Yeah,
We know our country, and we need to take that out to the world and show them.
yeah.
That's not just the big highlights, not just the beautiful Table Mountains. There's
Mm.
such and the people. If you want to ask me what really revs your motor, the people. We've got landscapes, we've got big five, we've got panoramic views, and I've had to have somebody leaving a tour with me after 14 or 20 days at the airport, and they say, "Jan, you've got the most beautiful people."
Yeah.
If you
You,
haven't been abroad, you
yeah,
don't understand the Ubuntu. You don't
yeah.
understand the soul of the African. That is beauty. And in a world that's become plastic and quick fix and superficial, Africa grounds the visitor to
It does
in
it does indeed. And the number of times I've talked to overseas visitors who have come back multiple times and you go, why do you keep coming back? You live in America or in England, and they go, I don't know, there's something about Africa that draws me back. And it's exactly that, Jan. It's the fact that our people are generous to the nth degree. They are willing to interact. They want to find out about you. They want to invite you into their homes for a cup of tea or whatever it is that they're busy drinking. And then you experience, I've only done it in one other country, and that was in Turkey, where we had a homestay or a home tea. And it was unbelievable, away from all the tourist destinations, just this tiny little home with mom and dad and an interpreter and something to eat and drink that they have on a daily basis. And you don't
Yeah.
find in major restaurants. I think that's the be all and end all. So does
Good.
that mean that if you travel with Africa Safari Connection, the tours are bespoke? You can build them to the requirements
Mm,
of either your guests, or you can make suggestions to your guests that you know
mm,
will work for them.
mm. So, yeah, that's a valid question. Africa Safari Connection is a collective, it's a hub, it's a synergistic, symbiotic people, like-minded, that says we need to collaborate and take all our collective brands and harness that into a product that I can go and present. And
Okay.
that is like a footprint, if you will. So we're not in our lingo, we're not a DMC or a ground handler. We don't do that. We will guide and we can advise. But when
Mm,
the guy opens our website, he sees the map of Africa. That was designed with a traveler in the car. And he sees, oh, okay, so, oh, there's Cape Town. Oh, there's Port Elizabeth. Wow, is that 900 kilometers? Oh,
mm.
never, because they don't have the scale of
Yeah.
Europeans, don't have the scale of distance. And it's like, oh, so in Cape Town, who are the people that are part of your network? And I say, those are people that we are from the same clan. We
Mm,
think we look at the world the same way. They are mostly privately owned, passionate people, smaller family businesses, be that properties, be that accommodation, be that activities. And we know that we have a great offering. They are by invitation. I love a genuine person or product, and
yeah.
with us in passion. And that's the people I will approach and say, would you like to become part of our network? We're not a marketing company.
Yeah.
We are a network of business owners that knows what it's like to run small businesses. I'm a family business. And we don't have the big corporates behind us, and we don't want to ever be the big corporates.
Yeah.
And God bless them, but that's not who we are. We know who we are. And our footprint wants to go trans-provincial within Southern Africa. So people can look at that and says, that looks like a lovely little spot. And we are inviting more. Post-COVID, we've had a bit of a fall away, you can imagine.
Yeah.
But Africa Safari Connection per se is a network of like-minded, abundance thinking people that passionately are in the industry because they want to be in the industry. Uh,
And then
that's
does True South Travel fall within that hub, or is this a whole separate thing, a separate entity that you're involved in and that you can take and guide people?
Yeah. So Africa Safari Connection is the bus. It's the
Yeah.
big collect. It's when we go to all the international local trade shows, and I've released myself to do that. I
Right.
am the spokesperson. I am the brand carrying person for many of my partners. Many of the partners that says, Jan, we need to go out marketing, but we run our business. Where will I have the opportunity to travel to Cape Town, Johannesburg, or abroad for that matter?
Mm.
And I speak the language from the operators. I know the jargon that we need to talk about the STOs and all that. Some don't always know that. So True South Travel is my personal operating
Okay.
company in Oudtshoorn, specializing in the Swartberg Mountain is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's the northern sentinel dividing the Little and the Great Karoo. I live there. That's me. If I am not in the office, I want to be in the mountain. I just came back yesterday with 30 Dutch clients. We had the mountain to ourselves. We were like little antelope. That's amazing to perch. I'm doing a lot of high-tech stuff, and I'll tell you more. We've got a consulting business. We've got a media house now. We have to enable our partners and help them. And in
Mm.
the process, and I always tell them that, remember, guys, when I go out there and say, we've been invited by South African Tourism now to attend the World Travel Market UK in Excel in November by
Okay.
invitation.
Right.
A very privileged, very honored. Why? Because they say, Jan, we need to put South Africa out there. We need to put the brand out there.
Yeah.
And in the process, I take my own company, True South Travel, and I focus on not only ecotourism and not only conservation in the mountains and not only stargazing, but we take what's unique to my little region, but it's a small little dot on the map. But when I then plug that into the big ship of Africa Safari Connexion, like all my partners does, then we go and we sit down with a guy across the table and I said, you know what? I'm not going to bring you a little operator in Oudtshoorn. Let me tell you about South Africa. And there's 20 properties and activities, and that always piques the attention.
Yeah.
Some might like what I do, but they love our beautiful lodges in Kruger or what we have in Hermanus. So
Mm.
that has worked well. So True South Travel, that is 20 years specialist mountain guide. Do the high five stargazing, we've coined that. High five stargazing, stars, galaxies, globular clusters, constellations, and planets that we show people through high-tech telescopes. I've got a team of 4 or 5 guys with mobile telescopes. We're the only company, I believe, that will take the telescopes out to our clients where they stay. So 80% of the time, when the venue is conducive for
Mm.
stargazing, we will bring the telescope to you. You finish your supper, you get your last glass of wine, you walk across, and we open up and explore the southern celestial high five to you. And
That's
that in the mountains, that's my passion.
and down your way, that's big sky country, and it's
Oh,
clear, and you can see, and you don't have to fight. That's when load shedding is so cool. When there's no ambient light, and you go, thank
true,
you, ESCOM.
true. And we can still, yeah. Remember, many of my clients are 95% are international clients, many of
Yeah,
them from Europe. I've got guys from Australia and they enjoy some of what we see. But most of the guys in the Northern Hemisphere are not privileged like we are
correct.
to sit in our garden and look up and see the Milky Way.
Yeah, they
And then
don't
we
even know what
tell
it
them,
is.
yeah, we tell them, we bring in the old Khoi folklore, we tell them stories about it. That 1 hour is not just look at that star, look at that planet, and
Mm.
look at that galaxy. It's about how does the African look at the sky, from the
Yeah,
Xhosa, from the isilimela, from how they started to plow, understanding. That goes back from the Khoi already. When they
yeah,
see the Pleiades, the seven sisters, they know it's time to plow. There's such beautiful stories in that. So it's
mm.
an also educational. We
For
just don't
sure.
show people. Next night, I always challenge them. Wherever they go, I say, look up and you will do. Many of this, you will be able to identify yourself because I teach you. And it's not
Mm.
rocket science, David. It's just an interest. And we as Africans, we are used to looking up and seeing open skies. If you are brought up in Belgium or the Netherlands or
You
the UK, you
don't.
don't expect that
No.
anymore.
Just as
And
long as
that
you
for
don't
me,
play, just as long as you don't play Story Night while we're watching the stars, I don't mind. But now, people are listening to you, Jan, and they go, "Yeah, we like what you say, and it's all well and good, but this is for the good of a collective." What are you or they giving back to the community? And that's where I think you differ from a lot of people because you have set up the Hope Foundation.
mm,
And what does that do for the people and the environment in the area in which you and your partners operate?
David, I think anybody, when it comes back to ethos, pathos, logos, when it comes back to integrity, when it comes to sustainability, when it comes to altruistically also leaving a legacy behind, that you are not here to consume. We are not consumers. We need to deposit. We need to help. We need to uplift. We need to contribute. My philosophy is if you meet somebody, leave them in a better way you do. Oh,
Mm.
Louis Pascalia. Louis Pascalia is an Italian guy. I don't even know what. And he always said, I watched these videos in my life, and Louis Pascalia, you must Google him. He was a passionate Italian. He said, guys, if you can't love them, at least don't hurt them.
Mm.
You know, for me, that in my corporate life, it resonated to say, you know what, you can differ with many people, and you will. But the essence of life is if you can't love them, don't hurt them.
Yeah.
So the whole, and I must say, David, we all live in the year 2024. We know what the world is like. It's
Mm.
really a self-centered world. You can choose to go down that rabbit hole, see, but nobody cares for me anymore. And who cares? And we all have to fight for survival. I get that. But you know what? You can choose a different paradigm.
Yeah,
And
you
that
can
paradigm,
indeed.
and you can, you know why and how it helps you to make a paradigm shift. It's engage with people less fortunate. Start contributing. And when there's something psychologically happening in a human. This is very philosophical now in my own personal view. When I founded the Hope Foundation, the Helping Our People and Environment, that was pivotal and foundational of the success of my business. Because I said to myself, I should not be successful if I don't contribute. And we started in the valley of the Kango Valley, which is the Kango Caves. People will know pretty well. It's international, quite renowned. Kango means Nkoi, place of water. And there's a beautiful valley of about 50 kilometers. And there are brown people living here, the descendants of the San and the Khoi, but also, part of the Cape Colored community, if you
Mm.
will, the mixed race. But we accentuate with the Khoi leaders. I've trained some of the Khoi leaders, the Atakwa, that we honor and respect them as the first people. Unequivocally, I will stand by this. The first people were the brown people, the San and the Khoi, and we, in my demographic where I live, those are the people I work with. Those are the people we want to help and support and uplift. So we've got 3 schools in the Kanga Valley. When I started my guest house there, we got involved with the people and the impoverished communities. Needless to say, post-COVID, it's been obliterated. The
Mm.
social economic life of a child in that community, it's terrible. So we are focusing on helping those kids also going through the schooling careers. And then on the other hand, we also have a leopard conservation project in the Swartberg Mountains. All that started, well, we have linked with a very prominent leopard conservation group in the Southern Cape. And sadly, a lot of that has come to an end. I even had offices in the Swartberg Mountain. My conservation center was for 8 years in the mountain. We did
Mm.
constellation talks. We did our full moon hikes. We did stargazing with it. We started all our mountain hikes in the hut. But COVID has hit us all very,
Yeah.
very hard. So the passion for hope is, if I could, I would have loved to see much more progress.
Okay.
We fund everything ourselves. When I travel with clients, if it wasn't for the generous people traveling with us, that helps us.
Mm.
We don't get formal funding, David. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So and putting ourselves up from our own bootstraps after COVID, you don't have a lot of disposable income to run huge conservation and social
Yeah.
programs. We had to try and survive, and many did not.
Yeah.
And
I
now
hear
we
what you're
have to
saying.
rebuild our businesses. But
Yeah,
that
and
is
then
really
it's
the
important, and
passion.
it's important because you support the community will support you. But now you're looking further afield because now, as this says, Africa is a continent of wonders. It really
Mm.
and truly is. I love the continent, this mad, crazy continent that we live at or live on. And in a heartbeat, I go up north. The further, the better. And I've been to some really weird countries that people go, why the heck did you go there? And I go to learn about our continent. I don't
Yes.
necessarily, I've been to Rome and to England and to the USA and other Asian destinations. But we have so much here on this continent to share and to enjoy and to be part of, and more importantly, Jan, to be proud of bringing to the fore to international guests who are looking for something just a little different.
Yeah, David, we are African. We are proudly African. We are a rainbow nation in Southern Africa. I realized post-COVID, I sat with Zoom meetings with huge operators in COVID, and they were talking about the world. And I've been abroad often at these huge trade shows, be that in the UK, be that in Europe. And I've been there, and then you will find when you visit the trade show, people say, Africa, oh, that's Farreizen, long haul. Go
Mm.
to hall X, Y, and Z. Sometimes when you go to Berlin and the
Mm.
ITB, you have to get in a bus to drive to the hall where South Africans are.
Yeah.
And all Africa. And then you realize within the concept of an European traveler, we are really a long haul destination. And do
Mm.
you think we'll only travel to South Africa? No, then you are totally ill-informed. The average traveler, international traveler, when they come to Africa, they come to the continent of Africa, be that south, east, or west, or central. And when we acknowledge that we are not Southern Africa anymore, it was like me. I'm an outsourcer. It's like, oh, no, you're not. You have to collaborate with people in the Southern Cape. Oh, geez, we have to really expand that and go to Southern Africa, trans-provincial.
Mm.
Oh, we have to go across border
Yeah.
because our market looks at us and say, are you from Africa? And I said, yes. And I think they mean Southern Africa, but they look at me and they said, are you African? Yes, I am. Then they assume you are a globetrotter in Africa. And that has been that is the phase we're building on now.
Okay.
We have ventured into Botswana and to Namibia, and that's the next 5 to 10 years growth will be a recognizable brand that also embrace our colleagues across borders.
Great stuff. Jan, would you believe we're running out of time? And there are a couple of questions that I want to get in before time is up.
Yeah.
One, this particular YouTube channel, Vibrant Africa, what do you hope to gain from it?
Yeah, it's for me, it's a window. It's a presentation. It's an opportunity, and the growth of this is where my partners will put a face to their brand. We are humans. We are not,
Mm.
and I think technology has taken us away from one another to an extent where we can utilize this beautiful concept that you pioneered, David, and kudos to you from with this concept, is that we also synergize and collaborate with people like yourself, astute international award-winning bloggers and journalists, that we can say, let us take the brand. I want to get my partners out there to say, this is me. I'm the proud owner of this space. And this is what I want to share with you as an introductory, as an opportunity, not the perfect world. We can't meet one-on-one, but
Yeah.
that is the opportunity to say, listen, this is who we are. And I think that's for me, that adds a lot of value to the brand.
And then lastly, Jan, and thank you for your time this morning. How do people find out about you? Where do they go? Do you have a web presence, obviously? Do you have a
Mm.
Facebook presence? Do you have an
Mm.
Instagram presence?
Yeah, we have, we're living in a high-tech world. We're living in a virtual world. So we have the website is always the portal,
Mhm.
www.africasafariconnection.co.za. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we've got our own little YouTube channel from what we've done. I would like to use this platform arguably going forward as our primary window of reference to say this is the website, guys. But if you want to, if you want to get more info, go onto the Vibrant Africa YouTube channel and get to meet the people.
Great
So yeah,
stuff.
they can connect with us always. Yeah.
Jan, thank you so very much. Jan Bester
Thanks,
from
David.
Africa Safari Connections. I look forward to chatting to you and your partners in the coming days, weeks, and months, and making Vibrant Africa the channel to go to when you're looking for places that are just a little off the beaten track.
No, I like that words. Amen to that, David. And I must say, what a privilege to work with you. We've just connected from day one. I think we resonate with the same passion, and I'm really looking forward to this journey. Really.
Great stuff. My name is David Batsoff, and this is Vibrant Africa. See you next time.